this is going to be a bit of a difficult video to make. And so the best thing that we can do is sort of just talk candidly about it. And so, as the thumbnail and as we've previously mentioned, we are leaving Whatnot as a platform after amassing nearly 12,000 followers and over 14,000 confirmed sales with an average rating of 4.94, which is relatively high for that level of sales volume. Just me, just myself, doing all that since Battle Styles in the last 2 years. Let's just say it's been a relatively fruitful time in our experience with this application. But it's unfortunate that we're going to have to announce our formal retirement or leaving of this application now because of the state in which this app has sort of gotten to. And honestly, this is not something that I'm surprised about. And any of you who watch my regular podcasts, you sort of know where this is going and where my issues are with this application. But in this video, we're going to sort of go through some of the issues that we've had and why we're actually taking a formal step back and announcing that we are leaving the app on relatively good terms before things get to the point where our reputation or anyone who purchases from us is potentially damaged just by being associated with Whatnot. And so let's get into it a little bit more here. But there are 3 to 4 main reasons why we are leaving this application or why we are leaving this platform. The main reason is the follows. Whatnot does not seem to care when it is selling illegitimate, stolen, or pre-release or early release goods, to the point where even so far back as celebrations in Pokemon 25th anniversary celebrations, these packs were being sold a month early on the application for over $100 each. And some of you may be sort of saying, hold on now. This is an issue that goes across all platforms, whether it be YouTube, whether it be eBay, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram. You see early release products being bought and sold across all these platforms. And while I do believe that this is most likely true, Whatnot has this unique ability to oversee all of their sellers on the platform, and they can directly have an some sort of a direct impact on this happening. And so what happens every single time that a new set comes out? It gets leaked early on Whatnot. And every single time, the legitimate sellers who refuse to break their distribution contracts and sell the product early are forced to sit and watch their customers, some of which are friends because they stream so regularly, get taken advantage of and railroaded essentially by these huge official streams that typically get promoted by Whatnot. And so this has become a regular issue, and it's not ever stopped or let up. And we've regularly spoken out about this, both in the official sellers Discord, on our platforms, and through trust and safety through Whatnot's actual reporting department. And in no time, in no situation has any action ever been taken, nor have any of those buyers had any sort of recompense when they're taken advantage of and having to pay $50, $60, $70 a booster pack for modern booster packs that will then be released in 2 to 3 weeks later on for $5 to $6 per pack retail. And so while this is something that is an issue with all free markets, it is something that Whatnot directly can handle if they chose to do so. Excuse me, but they show time and time again that they will not step in because they care more about that bottom line, that 10%, that 12%, that margin that they're making on every single pack that they're able to essentially get their illegitimate streamers to scalp for them, and they benefit from it. So they have very little monetary or very little incentive to actually go out and go after these sellers. And so what happens is the legitimate sellers get just pushed off to the wayside, and their streams essentially just end up dying. And so I'm just here to say that we are no longer willing to just essentially allow a platform to essentially push illegitimacy any longer. And so that is just the first reason, one of many reasons that we feel is just obvious for us to take a huge step back. And we don't want to give Whatnot a single cent more of our money or allow them to take any more of our customers' money on the platform. And so that's another reason why we are sort of stepping back from that until sort of those situations can get reined in a little bit more. Now, that is not the only issue that we have with the app right now. Currently, as we are speaking, you can go on and you can find many streams, several of which I would argue are most likely selling resealed, weighed, tampered with, essentially illegitimate product that is being run for bounties. Guess the Energies, Rip Till You Hits, essentially. A game that I literally created that is now being used in the scummiest possible way to take advantage of people, which literally makes me sick thinking about that. These things are being run on Whatnot streams right now, and there's no sort of oversight, no regulation whatsoever to protect people from resealed packs, from weighed packs, except the only thing you have to protect you from any of that is relying on the honor, on the legitimacy of the seller or the platform you are buying from. And while that has traditionally been something that if you buy from a legitimate platform like eBay, like Whatnot in the past, you would have some level of protection with whom they were employing to sell through their platform. This is just simply not the case anymore. The amount of backpack hype beasts, and I apologize, essentially sneaker salesmen who have come into the app without distributors, without any sort of connection to the hobby, without any sort of line on any product or inventory. They just literally have a Walmart or a Target near them, and they're allowed to go on and start running these unregulated games, which is traditionally not allowed on these types of apps, but for some reason it is always pushed, and not just pushed, but it's encouraged by, it seems like, the higher streams, because that's what they run. And so these new streamers see these streams running these Guess the Energy games, these bounties, these unwinnable bounties, and they are literally pushed to also run them themselves. And what does that lead to them doing? They do these things because they don't know better, and they end up scamming their customers. Maybe not willingly, because maybe it's just because the bounties are unwinnable, because it's a literal 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000 odds. So maybe there's that. That's the honest way of doing it. But we are seeing far, far too often legitimately bait and switch tactics where streamers are literally opening packs in a certain way every time so that you can't see the bottom of the pack, so that when they reseal the packs, no one's the wiser when they open it up live on stream. Because, oh, surprise, surprise, there may not be any fire energies in those booster packs because you're playing Guess the Energy Fire, but there are certainly alternate arts and normal hits, so no one suspects it. This is something that happens every single day, and we can no longer sit by and just watch it and sit complacent on the same platform while we've reported these streams multiple times. But Whatnot just once again does not care. And so it is unfortunate, but that is just the state at which this place or this platform has potentially come to. And so we'll no longer be a part of it. And so we are stepping back from it completely. There was just recently a video made by another YouTuber just talking about a Whatnot streamer, how they were selling mystery bags they had a whole racket lined up where they were running their bags, and they had this chase, whatever the chase card was of the whole bags. They ran through all their inventory besides the last 3 or 4 that were left on the table. They had someone in the chat ask the streamer to show them their collection so that they could then turn the camera while the streamer's significant other went and swapped out real quick like the bags and put the hit into the bag so that who won the next auction would actually hit. It was the worst, the scummiest situation, and it was all caught directly on recording on Whatnot. And this happens every day, and it's not caught. And this is the type of thing that just becomes regular when you allow literally anyone and everyone to sell anything and everything on your platform, and you just don't care at all, and you just don't care anything at all, and you show time and time again you're unwilling to step in and regulate your sellers. And so, for this reason, it's easy for us to step back and say, why would we ever be a part of any platform that was allowing any of this to happen on the regular? There's also the timeless issue of shill bidding that happens on every single large stream that we have ever seen. There are many, many, many times where we have seen items that would traditionally go or move for $5, $10, move for $20, $30, $40. And it's not necessarily because the streamer is that good of a salesman, or they're that famous of a musician, or they're that famous of an actor or voice actress, or ex-reality TV star, because those exist as well. They can't even traditionally get $30 for a $5 card. But you can if you have shill bidders in place, and on Whatnot, as a live selling auction platform, there is very little, if not any, bid history, oversight, or regulation. And while this wasn't necessarily an issue when you have small streams, that they're clear viewers where everyone watching sees who bids, and it's very clear, when you have these 100, 200, 300 people streams where the bids happen so quickly and the chat is moving so quickly, oversight is almost near to impossible. So it becomes a much easier and more predatory environment for the seller to take advantage of their buyers. And this is just something that's regular. This happens every day. If you open up the app, there's a stream, I'm sure right now, with just open up any stream with over 100 or 200 viewers in it and view what's being sold. If there's an auction being run, I guarantee you it is running far higher than it should. And it's not because Whatnot has some secret sauce. All it is a lack of oversight, and these poor souls who literally wander into the app and click. It's not their fault for clicking on the stream with the largest amount of viewers in it, because you would think that's where you want to view, and that's where those people are led to essentially be taken advantage of. And so until the platform decides that it wants to rein in these predatory tactics, and it wants to actually take some accountability, we cannot and we will not be a part of this platform any longer. It's unfortunate because we do believe that the people who run the platform on the back-facing side, the people who develop the platform, the people who are working through tech support, seller support, they really do seem to care, and they're doing a fantastic job developing the app. Every single month, every single week, it feels like there's a new update being made to Whatnot that just puts its competitors out to the pasture, essentially. And this is what we love about the app, is all of that innovation. We just cannot stand idly by any longer and allow for our faithful followers and anyone who potentially would associate with the old card shop. We cannot have our name associated with Whatnot any longer, because these issues are just too prevalent, and it seems as if the Whatnot platform does not care. And so until it gets reined in, we are going to be moving to YouTube. We are going to be moving to Instagram. We are going to be moving to all the normal platforms that we traditionally would post on, and taking a step away from Whatnot, just until these things get reined in. And so if you've stuck with us this whole time being the last 2 to 3 years in the hobby since we started this journey, if you're one of our Whatnot supporters, if you're one of our YouTube supporters, if you're just here for the first time because you saw the clickbait thumbnail, I greatly appreciate you. And I'm not going anywhere in the hobby. We love this hobby, and that is why we are doing this. And we appreciate you for being here. And if you'd like to see more of this content, it'll be a little bit fluffier, a little funner, a little more happy, I'm sure. Go ahead and like and comment and subscribe down below and tell me what you think about all this. And thanks again for being a part of the journey.